From going to a different division to straight up cheating. These are Houston Astros moments that changed the league. Did you know that the Houston Astros were once in the National League? After being founded in 1962, they were in the National League for almost 30 years. The Astros already have a cool name, but they were once known as the Colt 45s. They always had good branding. When the Astros were in the National League West, they were out there with the Atlanta Braves, San Fran Giants, Cincinnati Reds, and Los Angeles Dodgers. A few of those teams really don't feel like they should be in the West, but we'll save that for later. The Astros' time in the National League West, though, roughly 31 years. And in 1993, they announced they would be going to the Central Division. The new divvied up National League Central had the Astros, Pittsburgh Pirates, Cincinnati Reds, St. Louis Cardinals, and Chicago Cubs. Now that makes a little more sense. In the newly formed National League Central, Astros would be mopping the floor. They had them by the throat and won the division in 1997, 98, 99, and 2001. Even though they clinched, they never got out of the first round. Until 2004, when they got to the National League Championship Series and took it to 7 games versus the Cardinals, but lost.
During the regular season, and we are going to Game 7 in the National League Championship Series.
That year, the Cards ended up handing over the National League chip to the Boston Red Sox.
Back to Folk. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Houston took a few-year hiatus from the playoffs until 2005 when they made a huge run all the way to the World Series. But there was a problem. The Chicago White Sox got out the broom and swept them out to win the title.
The White Sox have won the World Series.
Now we're getting to the fun part. In 2012, the Astros tweeted they would be out of the National League because they were about to torment the American League. Astros will move to the American League Western Division in 2013, ending the 2012 season on a high note with 5 wins in their last 6 games. And with that, Houston will be joining the American League West, which would now have 4 other teams totaling 5. There was always some controversy about the change, but we did end up getting some fireworks out of it. Moving to the same league and division as another team in Texas made an instant rival between the two. And that was no coincidence either. Money is king, and the MLB wanted a little more of it. The rivalry between the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers drew in a ton of extra revenue.
Boy, that became quite a little foot race. Second out of the inning.
They even have what they call the Battle of the Silver Boot. It's handed to the team with the most wins in the series by season's end. In the end, though, longtime fans still tend to think of the Astros as a National League team. But even though that might be the case, they have been dominating in the past few years. They have won the American League West Division 5 times.
He got him! Astros win the American League West.
But now the potential to be the #1 team in the American League.
Been to the American League Championship 4 times.
Flip. Ball game over, and the Houston Astros win the American League pennant.
And they have been to the World Series 4 times.
Kyle Tucker, this time they finish the job. The Houston Astros, world champions.
This comes with them bagging the championship twice in 2017 and 2022. But when it comes to the championship in 2017, they have been caught cheating. This was a moment that shocked fans around the world. This time, though, the Astros were caught with their pants down because in 2017, they were stealing signs. How did they do it, though? Technology. They had a camera in the middle of the field, and staff on the team would tap a garbage can in a certain way depending on what sign was used.
And an error by Lance McCullers Jr. That's how the 2 runs are scored. Marisnick to left field. He will give the Astros.
When I said technology, I meant a mix of super advanced trash technology. The MLB got all up in their business, and the garbage can setup wasn't even their first try to steal signs. They initially were using, actual electronics to get the sign from the catcher. From there, they would get the message to a runner on second base who would then signal to the hitter.
get it off the plate. Make it look like a strike away.
For a team that's so successful, this scheme seems to be more work than actually playing the game. They moved from a whistle to clapping,
In the air to left center field.
before settling on the all too well-known trash can banging to relay their cheat signals.
2-1. We're playing the fifth.
The end of the investigation from the MLB showed that Astros were getting away with it for all of 2017. That even includes their run into the World Series. Now all that work to win a championship and they get a big fat asterisk next to it for life. Not sure it was worth it. Turns out it continued until early in 2018. In proper fashion, the MLB gave them a proper smackdown. I mean, if they didn't, the league would have ended up being a joke. Their manager AJ Hinch and GM Jeff Lunau were both suspended for the entire 2020 season. What's even worse, Astros had enough and fired their ass. The punishment doesn't stop there though. Former GM Brandon Taubman was suspended as well. As for the team, they lost their draft picks for 2 years and were fined the max, which at the time was $5 million. Not gonna lie, they really should update the MLB constitution. $5 mil today is kind of a joke. MLB did show some leniency though, and for good reason. They didn't punish any players at all because they gave up all the deets. That, and since so many people were in on this pie, it was hard to say who did what and when. Many critics of the punishment have chimed in too though. They say that every team steals signs in one way or another. So why are the Astros getting such a harsh punishment? Well, it's pretty simple. During the MLB investigation and their interviews with the Astros players, even they admitted they were taking it to a whole new level. Would you call using Apple Watches a whole new level? Because that's what the Red Sox were doing before they got caught. As a matter of fact, they were the only other team mentioned in the report the MLB put out about the sign stealing incident. Sign stealing is a part of the game though, and every team does it to some level. As a matter of fact, there are coaches and players who excel at it. The problem is, it is against the rules to use electronics to do it. So no cameras, no Apple Watches, no space lasers, no satellites, and definitely no futuristic sci-fi trash cans. So what's happened since then to prevent it? Well, the MLB has made quite a few changes to keep the playing field even. There won't be any more outfield cameras in the clubhouse from foul pole to foul pole. No live broadcasts for teams except a designated team replay official who will be monitored. And an 8-second delay on all other monitors. That is quite a lot of work to make sure guys are out there playing a game fairly. But hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Those were the Houston Astros moments that changed the league.